All right, everyone. So we're starting the class. We are on week number 13, and there is an announcement that you need to remember something. Last week we talked about having an exam today. So today it's starting at 2 p.m. and it's closing at 7 p.m. So you have enough time. It's only 10 questions, but it's choosing the 10 questions from like 25 different questions. So I'm guessing that everybody's exam is going to be different. It's about the topics that we covered, the prefixes, the roots, the stress on words and sentences, and that's it. So it's also very simple. So you should be able to answer it as a very simple exam. And you also have a second chance. If you want to retake it, just retake. It's going to be open like for 60 minutes, for an hour. But that's kind of like too much. If I were you, I would probably finish it like in 5 minutes. According to my knowledge, that means that you might take 10 minutes to complete. Not the 60 minutes, but it's a lot of extra time, just in case, okay? No questions over there? No, no questions. I'm talking to myself, I guess. So, what else do I need to tell about that? Another thing, today we have to finish with the presentations. We haven't finished. There were Raquel and Arlette who were left. And I guess that's it, right? From the people who sent the PowerPoint slides over there. We gave extra time, and it was also because it wasn't enough time here. I kept talking, you kept talking, and not really. We were discussing and giving you feedback, which is very, very important. Feedback is extremely important. So right now we're going to share again the slide from over here. And I'm gonna go and find the ones for Raquel. You're going first, and then we'll be Arlette. So I need to find Raquel. I don't know if you see Raquel's name. I found, yeah. Okay. You saw it at the same time. So Raquel, I advise you to turn on your camera because you already know that it won't be good if you don't turn it on. Okay. Get ready. Whenever you're ready, we're ready for you too. Go ahead.
Teacher.
No, I'm not even wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing a shirt.
I am at the computer in and I does not have camera.
Too bad because your grade is not gonna be that good. We gave you extra time to get a camera. I mean, to go to a place to find a camera, to use a different cell phone, whatever you needed to do. So, well, you're going to present, but we're not going to be able to see you, as well as we didn't see the other time few of your classmates, but what can we do? Nothing really. So go ahead.
Okay. English.
Oh, Henry?
English contraction are words or paraphrase no me deja, that we shouldn't be deleting of one or more letters when we expresses ourselves orally. In writing English, they say later are replaces via apostrophe. Example, going to Ghana. Are you going to hiking with your family? And Ghana, are you gonna to hiking with your family? Next. You are in school in the morning. And contraction, you're in actual in the morning. They are, and they are living with my family. A contraction, they are living with my family. And did you know that she was married? And contraction, did you know that she was married? You will if you come a bit late, you will be fired. In contraction, if you come a bit later, you'll be fired. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So that was it. All right. So I'm supposed to get on there, right? So, okay. I have a few comments over here. Just because this was too simple. One of the things that you might need to remember, and we're going to talk about this for the second part of the class, we are going to cover about body language because we have to talk about a little more about the body language because we are still very stiff, like not moving enough. And especially when we are using a video conference, we need to remember that the audience over there needs to see us. So that's one of the first things that if we know that we are going to present, to orally present something, we need to have a camera. So I'm saying this again and again to you, Raquel, because you did have extra time comparing to your other classmates. So that's going to be a bad grade on that part because there's no comparison with body language. Another thing that I need to tell you is about reading. When you read, especially for us who were looking at the slides over here, we notice very easy your mistakes. So that's one of the hardest parts when you're reading. You're supposed to read correctly. So here are the things when some words, when using some words, when you said express, you mentioned express it. Express it. So you just need to remember that it is expressed. Whenever you have the ED at the end, you need to contract it. It's almost like a T sound, expressed. But you need to complete the word. It's not enough if you just say express, because express is in present. And if you said express it, that might be another word or the use of two different words. Because it sounds like press it. When you said expressed it, it sounds like two different words. It's kind of like very bright, but I guess that you can see it from there. Present. Then some other simple, very simple words that you need to remember to practice when you're going to read it, especially. If you're reading it, it's supposed to be easier for the language. Supposedly it should be easier. So words like example. It was supposed to go fine. Example, not example. Remember that you're not reading with intonation or with the Spanish intonation. It's not Spanish. And I'm pointing these words because those words were very basic. It's from the basic vocabulary that we keep practicing. It's nothing new over here. And I need to remind you that school. The first time you read it correctly, you said school and then you said shul. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. What's happening? Wait a minute. School. That's a very simple word. You're not supposed to have a mistake over there. It's only school. Okay? And things like this. It's not canoe. It's not canoeing because that's something different. That's canoeing. And it might be that one. And canoe. But that's referred to a sport. So very different words. This is know, to know. And we talked about these type of words before, about a month ago. We talked about these, about the prefixes, about the roots, and it was these type of words over there. When we talk about phonemes, actually, it was that you need to remember that in some words, some of the letters are not even spoken. And this is one of them. You don't pronounce the K. It almost sounds like without the K, knowing or know, to know. Just need to remember that. And same thing when arriving. It's not a re, because that doesn't exist in English. A re. We could make up two different words also. A re. Let me think about it. A re. It sounds something that I might know, but a re. It's not the spelling like this. R-E-E-F, no. What I'm thinking is like, yeah, those ones. R-E-I-F. It sounds close, but isn't it like B-E? Is that what I'm not sure? It's probably with the F, but I really don't remember. But it sounds like that one. When you said a reading or a reef, it sounds closer to a reef. And that's, yeah, like next to the ocean is kind of like the mountain that you can throw yourself down. Well, you shouldn't throw yourself down, but I'm just making fun of it. So yeah, something like that. And something very basic because that happened in your middle school. You study a lot of the verb to be on middle school. And on middle school, you also learn the future. Even though you didn't learn it that much or that well, but you heard about it. But the verb to be in future, it's fine if we said. And then you mentioned you or you'll be. So you just need to remember how to pronounce it correctly. You'll be, not be. Just need to remember that. So I'm making, I'm pointing that out because this is supposed to be very basic. There's nothing new here. All right. So just remember those points when you're grading Raquel because you're grading her. Everybody's grading each other. So I guess you're supposed to finish today or tomorrow? It's already there. It's at the end of the first, Luis Roman is at the end of the first class, the video of the first class. In Zavala is at the end of the second class. So you have to go back and watch it. But you can go straight and just move it forward up until you find Luis Roman and then Sergio. They are at the end of the videos. And then Alejandra is just by herself. And so today we'll have, again, like Raquel and Arlette. That's it. So, Arlette, you should be getting ready.
Yes, I am ready.
Luis Roman is on the first one and Zabal is on the second one. It's just by her. It's another one and it has her name. It's under the week, last week, it's under week 12. So go to the modules on Canvas and the week 12. All of the 3 videos are on week 12. You're very welcome. Thanks to you too. So let me find Arlette. So I gotta go find Arlette. Oh, it's next to. That was easy. Just because he was next to Raquel. Thank goodness. So Arlette, we're ready for you.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. Okay, conversation execution. Example. For example, contraction. Please learn me how to use a contraction. Maybe English speakers are they often lazy when speak. They prefer to use it in single word 2 or 3. For example. Example number 1 is so in rather like instead of saying I will decide and I. For example, number 2 is decide on instead of don't know. For example, number 3 is decide let's instead of let us. And can instead of cannot. Next. Another thing you should keep in the mind is that maybe the English speaker is specified. Also, many times native speakers don't pronounce words clearly. For example, decide walking instead of walking. What instead of what do you eat? And other example is game instead of getting. Next. Some native speakers also pronounces the T in the middle of the word as D. For example, decide leader instead of leader and metal instead of metal. It can be difficult to understand native speaker. You might have to listen very careful at first. But with time and a lot of practice, you should get better and better. Next. When native English speakers speak to each other informally, they also stand, for example, decide yeah instead of yes. Other example in the site something is cool or some is maybe they like it. To speak English and maybe you must learn it is some words, but don't use it too much jargon in the mouth, very rude. For my part, is everything. Thank you for your attention.
You're welcome. Thank you. I have to congratulate you because you did use your body language, which was good. We could see you chose a place. It was your son's crib. I could see it behind and there was a name. But the scenario was good. But we could also see part of your body and you were communicating to us. So that's very good. Thank you very much. And just part of it, but that happens almost to everyone. When you're first presenting something in English, your voice was breaking a little bit. I heard it. It was breaking down and that's part of being nervous. That might be okay, but we just need to keep practicing to stop that from happening. And so, oh, I just want to point out a few words on how to pronounce them, and remember that you need to practice before coming and show it to someone. Did you remember how she pronounced this one? How did she pronounce it? You said sigh. And sigh sounded more or closer to like side or sight, because the word that you were trying to say was say. Remember your ABC. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That one. So, and also you need to remember the vowels. A. So this is one of the times that you have that phoneme. A. So it is say. Okay. And oh, one of your examples include, it's not gim, it's gimme, gimme. This is one of the, it doesn't make sense if you just read it, but it's a contraction. So you just need to remember what it is contracting or what is it putting together. From give me, right? So that's why it's gimme, gimme. Actually, you kind of like forget about one of the M's over there. So it's like gimme, but you just need to remember that this I comes back from give. So you don't forget the pronunciation from it, because you could have the mistake of saying it like gami. Because if you just take it as it is, it could sound like that. But remember that this is not a word. The contraction of two. All right, and oh, one of the words that you used, it's not that you pronounce it wrong, but when you use that word, it's a word that you have to put some energy into it. When you use the word, you were comparing when using the word cool to refer that something is more than okay or nice. You say, oh, that's cool, cool. So you don't use the word cool just like that, like, oh, it's cool. No, it's cool. But I'm not referring to this word. I'm referring to the other word that you compared this one to, which was awesome. Exactly. The way to use this word is not like, oh, this is awesome. Never. These kind of words required action into your face and in your tone of voice. You will say, awesome. That's awesome. And even you can include like what we will say snobbish, or like the strawberry side of us. Fresado, apresado, like that. Actually, if you want to give a better English intonation for the English from United States, for us, Mexican, from the north of Mexico, you kind of have to sound like a strawberry person. It doesn't make sense in English because there is no strawberry person in English. It's snobbish. But yeah, like that. Very fresita. And your intonation will be good. Just for the type of English that is spoken in the United States, because it's different from the one in England. It's kind of like a different type of snobbish. The one from England, it escalates a little more. In back of your face, yeah, it does escalate. But yeah, just like that. Awesome. Yeah, like that. It may sound weird for you, but you get used to it. That's awesome. You're doing it correctly. If it sounds like a strawberry person, you're doing it fine. Just remember that, because it works. So I'm telling you this because it definitely works. So I'm guessing that that's it. I'm gonna check or review with you at the same time. Let's see if everyone that uploaded these slides has finished it from here. So I'm sharing the screen again because people over there can help also. So we'll see. So it was Cristobal, he presented, Julissa, Saraí, Emma, Javier, even though I gave him another chance, but he didn't take it. Yesenia, Cecilia, Alan, Elizabeth, Raquel, Arlette, Ángeles. And Jessica is like, oops. I see your name that you didn't submit anything. Yvonne, José Eduardo, Ana Karen, Luis Antonio Román, Elizabeth, Vanessa, Heidi. Yeah, we have everyone, right? Yes, correct. Ah, Jessica. Too bad. I gave everyone a chance. Remember last time? On last Thursday, I say, hey, you have an extra chance at the same time as I did with Alejandra because I gave Javier an extra chance. So to be honest and to be, well, actually, to be fair, it's not honest the word, to be fair with everyone, I have to give everyone the same chance. And if anyone wanted to do it a second time, you didn't want it though, but you could have done it if you want. But the extra chance, it's gone. So we have to complete this one. Remember that there is an extra assignment, even though, Jessica, if you didn't present it, you still need to complete that. You have to grade your classmates. Okay, so you do have a homework and it's almost finished. You are almost finishing grading everyone. You just needed to complete 4 Arlette and Raquel. And since you didn't know that Zavala and Alejandra and Luis Roman were there already in the published videos, but you have to go and look for them and find them, okay? So at the beginning of this class, not really at the beginning, just before we started presenting, I mentioned that we were going to cover for the body language. It's not just because during this unit, we have been covering 4 rules. That sounds like very Russian, actually, not really Latin. Rules. We've been covering for the rules of conversation for 13 keys or key points to present in front of an audience, to remember the good speech, to look up for those who were good examples for the good speech. And also, we've been watching all of our classmates to compare and to learn something from everyone, because it's always about learning. And in that case, one of the specific points to cover on this unit, since we're talking about having an audience, will have to be using your body language. And it's not the same as using your body language when you are sitting down than when you are standing. When you're standing, you have more opportunity to move around. It's gonna, I have to remember you guys. So you have more opportunity to move around and to get more eye contact with all of the audience. So there isn't a big advantage when you're standing, but you can also be sitting down, which is perfectly fine, depending on the type of presentation that you're giving. Sometimes there are forums that you have to speak like that, sitting down, but your body expression tells a lot. Just looking at you over here, because I cannot see you over there, you have your cameras turned off. But just looking at you, I know that there's something going on with you right now. And Alan, if you're having trouble seeing me, but you can move either to the front or to the back because Yesenia is in the middle. I don't know. I'm just concerned about your neck. Just saying, okay? So body language is very, very important. Even though we think that we only communicate with our mouth, then we're wrong. We need to remember that. We are speaking non-verbally, but we are still speaking with the way that we are moving. Even if you're not moving, if you're glued to your seat, you are communicating something. Either if you're tense, if you are bored, if you're feeling sleepy, if you're feeling very happy, you're gonna show it with your body. So this is why we need to remember that our body language is definitely part of our communication. And we have to take advantage of it. Let's see what we're gonna cover. When you're standing, it's kind of gonna be hard for you over there, but I'm gonna explain it to you because it shows better. So when you're standing, every position counts. Every movement counts. And especially those movements that project a disconnection with the audience, of course they count. Movements like crossing your arms, your hands, they show a disconnection. They show insecurities and even more things. Okay. So on the first figure over there, we're showing a woman that has her legs crossed. So you cannot see me, but you can see the picture over there. So the legs crossed and even some of the arms. Sometimes we just leave it as a tick for ourselves because we have the tendency to do that. But that means that we are sort of like afraid. We are not open to communicate. Be careful when you're meeting new people, when you're getting to know new people. And if you're doing that, you're actually closing down. You're closing yourself. So you just need to remember to stand in a manner that you show security of yourself, not insecurity. That you show interest. There's the other woman over there that is like, paying attention. And it's like some of you, not all of you, but some of you are using some movements that say that you're paying attention. I already know that. If you are using just one of the hands, that's fine. But when you're using two, it's kind of like eventually you're going bored and you're gonna fall asleep. So one shows concentration. But we'll talk about being sitting down. So standing, there's a lot of information written there, but I'm just going to summarize it. Ground yourself, ground. What does it mean to ground ourselves? So we have to step and remember to use our feet. in the ground, of course, but remember not to glue, not to use resistol 5000 on it, okay? Remember that we are not being glued. It's about being grounded, but not being glued, which is different. Pegarse con resistol, no, okay? So ground ourselves, stand with your feet apart. And one of the recommendations always over there is like, remember to use your arms the wide or the length from the wide of your arms. And that's how you can open up your feet. But if you open up too much, you cannot see that, but just imagine that. If you open up too, I have seen men, especially the men, doing this. What does the audience does when the men open up? Let's see, that one. But too much relaxation, right? Yeah, Sarah is mentioning, oh, well, that person is showing that it's relaxed, but it might be too much of a relaxation. And that's correct. Opening up too much is kind of like, what's going on? Then you're focusing on the legs instead of focusing on the message. And everything is together. It's not just what someone is speaking. It's about everything at the same time. And even opening up your body. And also being too close. It's like, hey, you are not enough grounded. So it's always just a little bit. So we're not talking about if you have a perfect pair of legs. That's not what we're covering. Because everyone have something wrong with our bodies. Now that you're learning ergonomics with Professor Penelope, you have discovered that your body is all wrong. I discovered it too. So I already knew that my knees were like kind of like close to the center, especially one of them, the right one. But now I know that it is because of that I have a problem with my lower back. Because, well, my weight is normally not on the correct way. So I learned it thanks to ergonomics. In your major, what you learn. Good. So move purposefully. Move purposefully. What does it mean? You have, like I said, ground yourself, but not as gluing yourself. Not using resistol. The brand exists in English is the same. It's just the intonation. For us in Mexico is resistol, and in English will be resistol. The same thing, you know? So don't just glue yourself, move a little bit. But we're not talking about running and stuff. No, remember that we are grounded unless the topic requires it. I don't know, maybe you're talking about some sport and you have to show the movement. That's about the topic specifically, okay? But other than that, you don't need to keep running around. What am I saying this, that running? Because I have seen people doing this. Because of your anxiety, you forget that you're moving too much, and then automatically you lose the audience because you're moving too much. That's why it's referring purposely. With a purpose, you're moving your feet because you need to be closer to your audience. Okay? Make strong, limited gestures. I just hope that what I'm gonna say now, well, now it's safe to say. I remember President Trump. You know who he is, right? I remember his movements, and that was like too much for nothing. he used to give speeches like this. His hands will move like this all of the time. Whatever he was saying, he will move it like that. Just go and look for one video from President Trump, and he's always doing this. Wait a minute. So there should be a movement accompanying to what you're saying, what you're speaking, not just repeating something because somebody told you when you were learning to publicly speak that you need to move your hands, and that's why you keep moving your hands like this. He was like, he was playing with an accordion, but without really playing it. Just take a look at the videos of him, and he's like that. I don't know why, but so it should have, you should have gestures, of course, but try to relate them to what you are saying, not just because. And this is, I might just say that this is related somehow to our personality, the way that we move our hands. Because what I have seen, what I have experienced, I will have to say that, yeah, it's sort of like related to the personality that we have. But for those of you who have the tendency to just close down, because I saw this last week, and then, so you just need to relax a little bit more. What is good or what is not good? There's not really a rule, as long as you're not all of the time doing the same movement or closing down all of the time. As long as that doesn't happen, you just need to keep being conscious, because you have to use your mind for that. You have to get conscious of the way that you move. Some of us, we have the tendency to move too much. So we have to get conscious and stop moving that much. But other people needs to get conscious that you are not moving enough. And when you start using your hands freely, moving them around, you're going to start feeling a little more relaxed. But that's, again, it's up to practicing. So I would recommend to go back again, look for that mirror that you found already, the one in your bathroom, the one in your bedroom, I don't know. And take a time with yourselves. Look at the mirror. Let's just say that this is a mirror. Take the time to even compliment yourself. You're looking good today. And you start moving. You start moving freely. You see, you're looking good. Point out. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? So go find that mirror. That's your friend, because it's you. You're gonna see your friend. So just not, don't overdo it too much, because then if you end up being crazy because of this class, I'm not taking responsibility. Okay, so I'm just saying, if you are going to account me for ending up with something loose, it's not because of me. Okay, it was because you were practicing too much. And use facial expressions. Super important. Your face needs to show something. That's the only reason why I'm exposing myself and not wearing the mask right now, because it's hard for me to give this course without removing a little bit. But I have to keep it close, because if I leave it over there, then I'm gonna have the tendency to move and it won't be fine. Okay, so I'm trying to protect you and protect me. Well, actually I'm protecting you because you are still wearing the masks. So in that case, you are protecting me, but I'm not protecting you if I'm going close to you, because you're not wearing the eyeglasses. So you're not covering your eyes, and still there is a risk. And since Again, I have to say it, since there's saliva coming out from my mouth, I need to keep a distance to protect you. So use the facial expressions. Move your face. Yes. When you're wearing the mask, you need to remember to move your eyes. You can still talk with your eyes. You can just move them, make the expression. But if you have your whole face, you need to remember to keep moving your face. And one of the most important things with your facial expressions will be to smile, to show a face that looks positive. And one of the ways to show the face looking positive will be smiling. Or at least trying to smile, looking comfortable, trying to smile a little bit. But don't force it too much because it could look not real, and we don't want that, okay? But you just need to remember that showing a hard face, meaning of very tense, mad, it's not going to end up good. We're not even going to have a good conversation. Because the moment the other person starts with those face expressions, automatically, I'm talking about the other person, automatically me, the person in front, I'm also going to do some wrong face or facial expressions. Did you look at myself when I was seeing what's happening? Okay, never mind. We're just losing someone. Okay, let's not cry. I'm trying, but I need everyone to try also. Okay, so that was when standing. Only, I mean, we could talk too much and more about that when we're standing, but let's just keep talking about all of the possibilities that we have. And then we just need to remember to be conscious of what we're doing. Okay, to remember to think about it. So when you're sitting down or sitting, when you're using a chair or a bench, or I don't know, maybe you're just sitting on the floor. When you're sitting, what happens when you're sitting? Your body is also speaking, what I was saying before. So I need to open it up. When you're sitting, take a look at the expression that we are seeing over here on top. Let me try to do this just with the mouse because I don't usually use just the mouse. So openness versus defensiveness. Defensiveness, again, when your body is all crossed, when you're crossing your arms and your legs, you are defending yourself. And that happens. It's sort of like normal, but if you're the audience, that's fine. Because that's part of what the speaker is giving to you. So you will be expressing on a normal way as the audience. If you are eventually moving to those movements, then the speaker, the one here in front, needs to remember what's going on. Something might be wrong if everyone or if a lot of the people in the audience is crossing down. Something might be getting wrong. But this is a way to remember from the speaker perspective, the one here in the front. So if we have to be sitting down, we need to remind ourselves that we have to be open. Sitting with our back straight. Take a look at the first person over there. And If possible, we can do that. We can open our legs and that's fine, but not too much. Remember, to not overdo it. Too much might mean a different thing. They have a different meaning, okay? So just open up a little bit and it's fine. So we could consider something like evaluation versus suspicion. Let me clear all of these drawings. Like this over here. Yes. You see what I said before when using one hand, even sometimes when using one finger, that's fine. And then suspicion is kind of close, but it's like, it covers a little more of your face. And it has some movements in between, something is happening, I don't believe you. So that shouldn't happen with the speaker. The speaker shouldn't be doing this, and even not covering your face. There, I have seen when having conversations with other people, I have seen people speaking, doing that, covering their faces. And it's hard for the other person. Then you start feeling, if you are the other person, you start feeling like, am I doing something wrong? Why do you have to cover yourself? Why are you speaking like that? Then a disconnection happens. Okay. Things like, let me see the one in here. Expectancy versus frustration. What we have here on top of it. Here. Kind of hard to do it with this mouse. So expectancy. Okay, we're ready. We're ready to communicate. But frustration, you see, some of the movements of the body actually tell that the person is frustrated. Just say. And over here, self-control versus nervousness. So with these two, we should consider about these two, self-control and openness. I might say that those are very easy to use. Just sit down in a straight manner, a little open, and try to look relaxed in the way that you're showing that you are in control when you are the speaker. Remember that the audience is on the other side. You just need to keep watching the audience. If they are moving like this, projecting that something is wrong, projecting some closeness, something might be getting wrong. Okay, so there's more about confidence over here, down there, here, confidence. This one in here. That will help us, but let's go and see the points for this one. I'll move forward. There. I have to go close to it to keep on changing it. Because I lost my control. Do you remember that I used to have a control? I don't know where it is. I look it up on my home and I look for it here at the office and I don't know. So I'm thinking probably in one of the titling ceremonies, the ceremonies of titulación, I think that maybe I lost it over there. Because I might have lended to someone and I just can't remember what happened. But I might have to buy another one because it's easier to just move around and keep using your body. So move off the back of the chair. Again, it's like grounding when you're standing. So don't put yourself all the way to the back. Move a little straight. Especially those chairs that we have over here, the office chairs. they go to, it's not really straight, they go like this. If you glue your bag to the back of the chair, it sounds weird, but yeah, you might end up losing the position that should be straight to keep looking at the audience. So you just need to remember that one. Sit up and lean forward. And if you can, when you're sitting down, lean forward a little bit. Move your body a little to the front. That's what it says, lean forward. Forward means to the front. Why? It helps to tell the audience, psychologically speaking, that you are paying attention to your own audience. They are paying attention to you, but you are also paying attention to all of them. Like the way that Sarai is sitting right now, a little forward. And Annalise was sitting a little bit like that. Yes, you are, but you're also crossing one of your arms. Yes, Annie. But you're fine. And over there, I do have a problem. I don't know if you're fine or not. Yeah. So just saying with the audience that is present, and open yourself up. Open. Get ready to connect. Open up. What does it mean? Don't do the locked position. If you're the speaker, the audience can do it. That's fine. Because the audience might be sitting in a not so comfortable position or in a not so comfortable chair, like the one that you're using. You already know that ergonomically speaking, those chairs are very bad ones. Are very bad to your body. I'm not gonna mention the parts because it may sound funny and it might not be appropriate. So I have to be politically correct. So, but since your chairs are not that comfortable, I know it may happen. You might keep moving and try to find a different position. And yeah, you can do it as an audience, but not as the speaker. If you're moving too much, then your audience is going to keep looking at the body moving too much instead of the message, the whole message that includes your body, of course. Yes, open up yourself, but not too much. Okay. Open up yourself. Don't close down or don't knock yourself. Gesture. Gesture. Just because you're sitting down doesn't mean you can't gesture. It means, yes, your feet might be on a chair, but what about your arms? Keep using your upper body. Keep moving it. Keep pointing. And what we said before about the face, use your face to communicate. Keep using your facial gestures. That's way important. So it doesn't matter if you're sitting down or not. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about when you're speaking virtually. Because nowadays, that's what we have, right? A lot of video conference. A lot of video conferences. Right now, I do have a video conference. So, but this is crazy, hectic, because I have people here and I have people there, and then I have to communicate with you and I have to communicate with you at the same time. So it's like, I'm losing my mind and my body too. Just saying, but I'm not, it's here. I'm not losing my body, but I'm just saying. Hopefully not. Well, I could lose a little kilograms. That's fine. Some from here, some from there, and I'll be fine. That's another story. Okay. When you're speaking visually, we need to remember that we have to connect with the people that it's far away. So we need to remember something. I think that what works or what has worked for me is like, I just need to remember that I want them to see me and I need to imagine what the other people is doing. If they're sitting down, that they are looking at whatever is in the computer. So we just need to remember that there's people behind the camera and that those people have eyes. So we have to remember that if there is a chance to stand and move, we have to take the chance. We have to move, like right now. But it will be different if I only have people there instead of having the combination, the hybrid motion that I have right now, because it's hard. Yeah, but audiences are virtual too. We can be speaking through the phone virtually, not just in a class. We can do a video call. But that, again, it's a conversation. It's much better than just having a phone call, than just having voice. Nowadays, it's so easy to have a video call because we can use just the simple phone. Well, if you have the same brand of the phone is built with sort of like an application, but you don't see the application because it is in the software. Because if you have the same brand, even though LG doesn't build phones anymore, but there was a way that if you have an LG and you have an LG, you can do video calls. And it's supposed to be like just a simple call. If you have iPhone to iPhone, you can do a video call that doesn't need a different application. If you have, I guess that Samsung to Samsung, it's supposed to do it too, and so on. I'm just saying a few brands. But also, what we use all day, we do it even for the class. We use WhatsApp, so you can video call everyone. So it doesn't need to be a more complex application like Zoom, like what we're using right now. But you can do a Zoom phone call if you want to. I'm saying that it's more complex because the way that Zoom was designed is to actually have work reasons. That's why you can write on top of it and you can share a screen, you can share information at the same time as you're speaking. But if it is only a phone call, you can just relate to WhatsApp, Facebook. You could use the one that was one of the first. It was one of the first ones, actually, Skype. I don't know if you heard of it. Skype. And we used to say, I'm going to Skype you. I'm Skyping. And that was because the software was named, the name of the software now is an application, is called Skype. It helped me a lot when I was a student living in a different country, because that was a way to see my family through Skype. That was one of the first programs, softwares that you could use for video calling. And not anymore, because there's a lot of softwares, a lot of applications that you can use right now. But what I'm saying is, it's very common, and still you get to conversate, to speak with another person while facing the other person, while seeing the other person. So that's why you need to remember that the other person or the people that is behind your camera is taking a look at your movements. So that's why you need to remember to look at the camera. Hey. And one of the recommendations for virtually speaking is about using headphones. Right now, I'm not using them with the class because I need to use the speaker and the microphone, the extended microphone. But on a regular class, I normally use the headphones and another microphone because it gives better sound. And so you want to have less interference, fewer interference. So it's better, and that's why it's telling us here, makes your voice warmer and nearer when you use headphones, and if you have a microphone, and you can use the headphones that come with your phone. When you buy your phone, they usually come with headphones, usually, because iPhone doesn't have them anymore. So you have to buy everything apart. Just happens. But there's a lot of type of headphones that they have built-in microphone, and that's the best way to go for a virtual conversation, because your voice sounds better and you can hear them better also. There won't be interference or noise that will be in between the conversation. So remember that one. And ask questions. Listeners can react to the visual clues you're giving them. So this is a recommendation, ask questions. It's part of the literature, I have to mention it, but it doesn't work with everyone, especially when you're giving a class. But if you ask questions, someone may answer back. And with one person, that's good. You're doing something good if you have an answer. But keeping questions, it's part of a simple, normal conversation. It's one of the rules. Keep the conversation going, ask for questions, ask questions. And last but not least, for virtually speaking, use plenty of vocal energy. You're seeing what I'm doing right now. I keep moving my tone because I remember that they are here, the people that are virtually with us. So you need energy, vocally speaking. I don't know if you have seen those influencers, so-called influencers, the ones that live from YouTube videos. Have you seen that the tendency for them is to speak louder? They're like, hey, how you doing today? Hey, look at me, we're doing here at the classroom. But why are they doing that? There is one simple reason. To keep the attention of the audience. That's why when you are speaking visually, you are not supposed to speak the same way as when you're not virtually, because you have a wall. It's a barrier. Yeah, it's a barrier, but it's better to say wall. You have a barrier or a wall. It's invisible, but exists. It's there. You need to remember this. So you need to break it down. It still is invisible. But if you speak normally as you do it when you have a conversation face to face, it's very different. Let's give an example. I'm gonna ask Anael to come forward to the front. Can you stand, please? So I'm covering myself. Yeah. So you have to go like close where they can see you. Yeah. So we're gonna talk in a simple way, okay? But we still have a video conference going on. Hi, Anael. I have to work a lot. I have a course, and then I have to prepare for the classes. I have to check some of the homework, and it just went by. The day ended up so soon. Are you gonna wait to do the groceries? Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. That was a simple, regular conversation. Did you hear anything that we said? Sergio, could you listen to what Anael and I said when we had a conversation? Hello? Is Sergio there? Sergio, Sergio, Sergio. There is an echo. Sergio, hi.
Here.
Okay, thanks. Could you listen to what Anael and I talked when she came to the front?
Repeat, please.
Were you able to understand? So I'm changing the question. Were you able to understand the conversation that Anael and I had here in the front?
I don't listening.
You couldn't listen. First thing, our tone was very low. I guess that you here could hear it, but a little bit, because even the normal tone that we used was very, very low. So probably it was hard for Yvonne to even listen to it. Even to Elizabeth and Vanessa, it was hard because we chose. Why did we lower our tone? Because it was face to face. Probably like a meter. We didn't need to speak with more energy. It was enough. Are you getting the idea? It's not the same, definitely never, it will never be the same face to face than having this imaginary barrier or wall that is built because there is a technological device in front of me. I still can communicate and I'm doing it right now, but we just need to remember. We need to remember. Use more energy in our voice. And that's why I use the example to mention those influencers, the so-called influencers, and I'm saying it like this, the so-called, because yes, they do influence people, but not all of them are positive influence. I'm just saying. Most of them, and still they are influencers because they do influence people, but most of them are just not so good. They don't even do anything that it's even good for anyone. They just lose time. It's like, okay, that exists. So, but remember that the tone of voice, it needs to show energy. No, I'm just remembering something, but I cannot give you the example. Because I'm gonna make myself in trouble if I mention this, but still, I have to say it without saying the names or positions of the people. I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna try. Because I had a video call this morning. It was a very important one. I was actually not supposed to be there, but well, we were using my account, my Zoom account. That's why I was there. But it was a meeting not for me. It was for some other people in the university. I'm just gonna put it like that. And there was some trouble communicating with the other two people, but it was actually, this was the reason. The energy in the voice. Because one of them wanted to speak like normal, like plain. And that is not good for video conferences. You need to speak a little louder, but not just louder, because it's not about yelling to people. No, it's not about that. It's about putting some energy into your voice, which is different to yelling, right? It's not the same. I'm sorry for your ears. So sorry. Probably you had something. Sorry. And I'm sorry to you too, but it's not that hard. If they're using headphones, it's probably very hard. Sorry. So one of the last things, and we're almost over for this class, observe your audience body language. So yes, body language is about ourselves as the speakers, ourselves being grounded, ourselves being open, ourselves moving our hands like Trump, ourselves making eye contact, ourselves using our face gestures. Yes, but it's not everything. We have to be observant. If you take a look at the audience that I showed for the picture, they're so nice. They're happy, even clapping, and everyone is showing some energy. I don't know if you can see the ones in the picture. And let me just do something. Because they cannot hear me. So just to make sure that the people here are seeing it. Woo! I look like a ghost. So just bear with me. I'm looking like a little ghost over there, but I wanted the people that is present here to see this picture. An audience like this, an audience that shows that they are happy. What does it tell you? Okay, and Anael is saying, oh, that they are interested, that they are enjoying what you're saying. If they show you with their expression, I'm going to turn the lights on. If they show you with their expressions that they are happy, that's what you're looking for in an audience, happiness. It's hard, and especially right now at this point that it's almost 3 p.m., like 3:35, you're hungry, you're feeling a little tired from the whole day, but still, if you're showing that you're paying attention, if you're showing with your eyes, because it's more or less what I can see from your faces, but if the audience shows the openness, happiness, not sadness, not boredness, being bored or enfadado, cansado, aburrido, all the synonyms. I feel like this woman that from the news that she keeps saying all synonyms and not saying anything. Yeah, that one, Adela Micha. She keeps on saying all of the synonyms when she's speaking, which is interesting, and it's a skill from her. If you never heard Adela Micha, go and listen to her. I'm just saying. So we need to remember this part. Observe the audience. Now, this is not for virtually speaking, because virtually speaking, if I try to observe you guys, let me show the people present over here. There's no one, there's only names. I can only see the names over there. Take a look at that. Not even pictures. Come on, guys, put a picture on your Zoom account. At least. I mean, I do have a picture like this. Oh. Well, you cannot see it. I have to go out. That one. So at least there's a picture, and at least my picture is showing like I'm paying attention. So at least if I'm not gonna use the video, at least I'm gonna use a picture that shows like, there's something interesting. I'm just saying to everyone that is over there that maybe you should consider showing a picture that shows like you're here, at least. Not just saying, it's a big recommendation to everyone, okay? Because you're so quiet. That's what I'm saying. This virtual call, the class, It's so hard for this type of speakers. For us, the professors, is very, very hard to try to establish a real communication with the audience, because what you saw over there, I'm talking to the people present here, and I'm talking also to you guys. What I can see is only a few names and black backgrounds. So it's really, really hard to see if you're paying attention or not. Way hard. So we do truly, I have to say it with that intonation, truly appreciate when you open up your cameras, because we can see if you're paying attention. We can see that we do relate a message. We can see, but right now I can't, but that's life. And I understand that this is live because of internet connection. The wide band for the internet is not as good as it should be. But we're getting there. I heard it from Telmex that eventually we're getting the fiber optic. It's here, but they're only connecting the stores, businesses, offices. So for the normal, regular people as we are, we have to wait. I know, what a shame, yeah. So just remember to look at the audience and try to get the understanding of their feelings. Do you remember on the first class that we actually have it here in the computer lab, the first class that we talk about talking with an audience? We talk about connecting even with feelings. And I'm giving you the heart. Connecting with feelings. It's the best way to give the message. It's so hard. It's actually not. It depends on practice. It depends on experience. Eventually, when you're getting experience, but let me just say something. Experience doesn't mean that you have been doing the same things for 10 or 20 years. Because that's about doing the same thing. But experience will be related to learning all of the time. Keep learning. I'm telling you, the way that I'm giving you a class right now is not the same way as 10 years ago. Oh, getting old. But it's not the same, and it shouldn't be the same. As a speaker, it shouldn't be the same. But I need to be conscious. Every day, I need to be conscious. And of course, I have to tell you the truth. It's not always good, because it always depends on the topic. So that's why the life of a professor is hard. Just because we have to speak to an audience every day and to different audiences. Some audiences, now that I'm talking to the audience, some audiences are not as good. And you have to live with that. Oh, yes. The sad truth, but yeah. Okay, so direct your energy outward, not inward. If you are observing your audience, you need to just take a look at this. Your body language and the body language of your audience, it's important. Watch how listeners respond. Their movements tell you a lot. If they are engaging, paying attention. Change your pace and approach when necessary. Sometimes you need to speak fast. Sometimes you need to speak slower. And that's what I try to do in these classes. Sometimes I have to speak the way that I'm doing it right now. Separate specifically every single word, because I'm putting stress on the words. I'm just reminding myself that on your exam, there is something about stress, but the stress of the words, the intonation of the words, okay? El acento. Okay, so change your pace. Don't go too slow. I shouldn't say this, but like a certain president of a certain country that you all know. I'm not being that specific. I'm just saying that you all know. Don't go too slow all of the time. Slow down sometimes, go faster sometimes. How do you know? Your audience would let you know. If you're going too fast and then your audience goes like, if they're showing some frustration, like very hard, that's a sign. That's why it's this part of the class, it says, this part says, pay attention. Watch. See. Watcha. People who say that. Built-in interaction. Above all, keep your audience active, literally using your body language, of course, literally. And this is one of the hardest parts. You should keep persuading, motivating, and inspiring your audience. How do you do that? Well, keep being conscious. Use your mind and use all of your senses, even your touch. The smell is important. You will notice if something is wrong when your audience is smelling something wrong. Something happened. Maybe someone farted. I'm just saying. And of course, the connection about the motivation. I will have to say that it's about every topic or any topic to keep the concentration of the audience will represent inspiring them and also motivating them. Okay, so I know it's hard, but yeah, we have to understand it. So let me tell you just something else before we leave. We finished already, but before we leave the class today, I want to make an announcement. So here's the thing, what's happening next class for Thursday? Again, I'm not going to be here. I'm so sorry, but there is an appointment. So I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to keep the instructions after, okay? Bye.